All right, so how can you have positive energy, combine it with FU energy at the same time? The duality of having positive energy so that you have ultimate confidence, ultimate self belief, at the same time, not being a pushover. Now, this is the magic ratio, the magic formula, because a lot of people think that negative energy, you have to be an a hole. And I'm trying not to cuss because of YouTube. You guys know how it goes. Negative energy, people think that, oh, I have to get what I need out of life. I have to get what I want out of life. I can't be too nice. I can't be a pushover. And that's completely correct. But positive energy, people are tricked nowadays because people think that negative energy is stronger because you see social media and the hooks and all this nonsense. But there's duality in life. Positive energy is much stronger than negative energy. People want to be around people that make them feel good. You want to be around somebody that makes you feel good, that has a good positive vibe. You don't want to be around somebody that's complaining all the time. So you know this for a fact in your life. You want to be around people that are positive and uplifting. You do. But at the same time, you don't want to be with people that are like too nice. If you look at girls, the nice guys finish last. They don't want somebody that's too nice at the same time. So having this duality, understanding, and very few people explain it this way. I've really never heard somebody explain it in this particular way. Because when you're reading these books, these self-help books, you think, okay, positive energy. I have to be so positive. I can't be I can't be negative. I can't even acknowledge anything negative in my life or anything like that. I have to maintain this vision of pure positivity. The reality of life is that all these emotions, from positive to negative, you're going to experience all of these emotions. You're not just going to stop experiencing the range of human emotions. You're a human. You're going to experience all of these things in your life. That's what's going to happen. The idea with the positive energy and the positive thinking is that you have that voice inside of you that hates on you for no reason. That's the idea, to eliminate that, to reinforce positive feedback, positive energy so much that you get rid of that critic in your head, that negative. If you feed into that negativity, that's only going to grow. So the goal with positive thinking is reinforcing and interchanging that negative, hypocritical pessimist, which, by the way, you get that, you grow that, you feed that wolf every time that you judge other people. Because that's what life is. Life is genuinely a mirror. Life is a mirror in your life. If you're positive, if you're good, a good person, a positive person, without being a pushover at the same time, without letting people steamroll you, that's the best combination. If you're a positive person, more people want to be around you. More people are likely to do you favors. More people are likely to want to be around you and say, hey, this person's great. Have you met them? And things like that will happen for you in life. But nobody's going to do that for you if you're completely rude all the time. Nobody wants to be around you. You complain all the time. So the whole premise of this particular video is to say, hey, how can you have positive energy? And why do people always talk about positive energy, positive energy? Well, I have to be so positive. You have to combine that with FU energy at the same time, because people will steamroll you. There's enough of these people out in the world where they will completely steamroll you if you're just somebody that's too head in the clouds. You got to be capable. It's better. What is that old saying? It's better to be a warrior in the garden than whatever the other opposite side of that is, a flower in a war field or whatever it is. It's better to be a warrior in the garden. Doesn't mean that you have to be some super badass army military guy. But what I'm saying is that combining that FU energy to where you're not going to be pushed over. You're not going to take any BS from people. But you can still have enough positive energy where your internal world is extremely positive. The external world doesn't get to you because you're so positive. You're building this self-belief. You're not going to let the external world weigh you down and all that external noise. This is the perfect combination. Because a lot of the people that are so nice and that will never hurt a fly, they have some of the weakest frames of mind because they're so nice, they're so empathetic, everything gets to them. You see that a lot in artists at the same time, but having this combination, the duality of having that FU energy, You have the duality enough where you can say F you to the world, but at the same time be a good, positive person and a loving person. You have to have that weird combination, the duality. So it doesn't mean, when you think about positive energy, it doesn't mean, I have to be so, I can't, I got to think rainbows and butterflies constantly. Everything, I can't even acknowledge negative energy. No. What it means is you're replacing the negative energy, the negative critic in your head, the hypocritical, the negative pessimist, the critic in your head. That's all negative energy. And a lot of people have it completely reversed. People like this. They're the nicest person to everybody, but they're the worst to themselves. And that's the complete opposite. That's not what you need. You don't need that. That's not the right ratio for your thriving, for your best, your best position in life, for you particularly, for every human, is going to be you're a positive person, you uplift people, okay? But at the same time, you have that FU energy so that you're not steamrolled. And you're also not somebody that's complaining all the time. You're not somebody that brings the mood down, that brings the vibe down, because nobody actually likes those people. People get away with it in life because they have a little bit of power. But in reality, you can have a little bit of power, but when you have nobody that wants to be around you, everybody hates you, they might have to listen to you, but they hate you. Is that really the quality of life that you really want? Everybody in your life secretly hates you? No. The perfect ratio, and it's easier said than done, but I'm telling you, if anything, this video gives you permission to have that FU energy, because there's duality in the world. People like different types of music, different types of food. If somebody likes this music and thinks, for example, this is the best song that they've ever heard, somebody else would think that it's a horrible song. It's just not their jam. One man's trash is another man's treasure. So why I'm saying that is because you have to give yourself permission to be able to be strong enough to say F you to the world, while at the same time doesn't mean that you're hating on, you're really seething, or you have hatred in your heart. Does that make sense? This video is giving you permission to have that FU energy while also not being a negative pessimist. Oh, the world doesn't want me to win. Oh, the world doesn't want me to win. All these people are hating on me. No, that's down here. But this FU energy is just confidence in yourself. Because if you are too nice, like I said, you're too much of an empath, all that external noise is going to get to you and crumble you down, okay? So having this duality, and this is just something to implant in your head and think about it. Okay, well, I want to be positive. I want to be a positive person. I want to think positive and be loving and practice gratitude and understand that positive energy is stronger than negative energy. So I realized that joyful emotions, love, joy, gratitude, if I make it an intention in my life to purposefully feel these things more often, these positive energies, gratitude, waking up in the morning, and really making this an intention to stay consistent with this, I realized that's more positive energy. And it doesn't mean that it's weak. It doesn't mean that being joyful and being happy about life is going to kill my drive in life. No. You still have that FU energy, where still use the positive sides of wanting to prove other people wrong. The positive sides about that. But when you seep down to here, that's when you get spiteful. I'm going to do it because this chick, didn't want to be with me, or this guy hated on me. That's only going to tear you apart, because over time, negative energy will eat you alive, but positive energy will feed you and give you more energy. That's what will grow. Positive energy will grow. So understanding, having that FU mentality without seeping down to where you're just in the dumps and you act out of character and you act negative, and that's not the right frequency you want to be on. But mainly I wanted to say this because positive energy, when you talk about that stuff, people think, oh, you preach positive energy all the time. That means you shouldn't cuss and all these other things that it comes along with in people's minds. If you talk about positive energy, that you have to be some super spiritual guy meditating in the forest all day long. That's not the truth. The main focus on that is to get you to thrive, getting yourself to thrive, because that's what you want in life. Ultimately, that's what my whole mission is about too. It's not about meditating in the forest for 6 to 8 hours a day. That's not what it is. It's about thriving, because having that critic in your head and feeling negative, you don't want that. You want to reprogram yourself for more positive energy. At the same time, realize that you can have that FU energy at the same time and still be a positive person. Take the positives out of that. There's a reason why you have an ego too. All these guys talking about ego death and all this stuff. There's a reason why you have this. Use this to your advantage. Ego is one of the best things to push you, for example, to be in the gym. Look at all these champions of boxing guys, okay? Ego is a great thing if you use it correctly and don't let it use you and overtake you. It's the duality piece again. So a lot of these spiritual dudes have just gotten it. It's like, bro, you got to remember, you're still a human being. You're still going to have all these human emotions. You don't need to just become a plant and go meditate for 12 hours a day. You don't need to do that. You're still a human. In this human existence, you're a human. There's no way getting around that. You don't need to kill your ego. You need to get into a spot where you can thrive, because ultimately the goal is to get into a spot where you thrive the most, you're the most fulfilled in life, and you make your loved ones proud, you make yourself proud, you provide for your loved ones, you provide for yourself, and you get the most out of life. You squeeze all the juice out of the towel of life. Squeeze all the juice out of life. You don't need to be... So a lot of people that like watch spiritual videos and all this stuff think that if somehow I'm spiritual enough, then suddenly it will pop and all these things that I want. You're trying to outrun your desires. You're trying to outrun your material desires. Do you really need to do that though? Because some of those material desires are going to provide for your family, for your kids, okay? So you don't need to outrun those. You just need to get into a position where you're able to thrive. That's what the purpose here is. If you get spiritual enough and you meditate long enough, okay, what you think is going to magically pop one day where you can just materialize things at the snap of your fingers? No, that's not how reality works. The whole purpose of all this stuff is to eliminate as much as you possibly can the things that you are reinforcing in your head. This negative self-talk, and replace that with better activities, better intentions, and realizing that you have the power to do that. More positive thoughts, more positive emotions. And it's not just going to happen. You have to work at it as well. It's not just going to magically, push a button. You have to work at it and intentionally reprogram yourself and intentionally input these thoughts, do these exercises and these practices, for example, gratitude and putting the right material in your head, because your mind is extremely powerful. And one last little thing before I end this video. If you've been around people, your best friends, and you start picking up on their lingo, you start picking up on their behavior, you can do this. You've noticed yourself do this. That's how powerful your brain is. You've noticed yourself do this. You pick up on the way that they dress or talk, their lingo, the things that they eat, the people that you're around. You start acting out in that behavior. You can intentionally, deliberately use this to your advantage from things like YouTube, from videos like this. You can emulate. You're amazing at imitating and emulating, and use this to your advantage. Use it to your advantage, because a lot of people listen to hardcore gangster rap, okay, or whatever it is, whatever that is influencing you, and they do the complete opposite, and it ruins their lives. And I'm not saying rap will ruin your life per se, but think about it. For example, the music that you're listening to, you're drilling your head with that nonstop. Before you know it, you're starting to act out those things that you hear in the lyrics, and that's really how it goes. So what I'm saying is that you emulate and you imitate. If you look at, I was just watching a video this week about Juice WRLD. He said the whole reason why he started sipping lean was because of Future songs. I mean, it's not some rocket science mystery. It's pretty obvious that that's a fact that happens. You're very impressionable. You're easy. You can emulate and imitate. So use that to your advantage. That's why you're watching these videos, okay? And music is a different thing. Music is art. Music is creative. And if you're impressionable and you're drilling this material into your head every single day, of course you're going to emulate that and imitate it. And it's just like, it comes back to that same old thing where if I play a violent video game, am I going to go do these same things in real life? No. But music is basically mind programming. So that's a whole nother topic of discussion or whatever. But what I'm saying right now is that you have to understand your power to imitate and emulate as well. And so doing things like this, reading the right books, putting the right material in your head intentionally. If you nonstop put the right material in your head, you don't think it's going to rub off on you? It is. So there's a duality in life, and I've talked about that a lot in this video. This is basically just a stream of consciousness about a lot of different things. And I hope that you enjoyed this video, and maybe my points weren't the clearest, but this is a no edit, one take thing. And so in my ending here, thanks for watching, and hopefully you are subscribed and you like the video. And in my ending here, I just want to say that use these things like the ego, like I talked about. Use the positives of that. Use the positives of the FU energy. Use the positives intentionally, the positives of your ability to imitate and emulate. Okay? Use that to your advantage, because it goes both ways. It goes both ways. You can get too intoxicated with your ego, and that can go bad. That can lead you down the wrong path. It's duality in life. So use these things to your advantage and take the positive out of these things and use it to your advantage. Be smart. You have this incredible power. Your brain is extremely powerful. Use it to your advantage. Thanks for watching. Make sure you read the description right now. Read the description for more information about everything that I'm doing here. Thanks for watching.